Hi guys, my name is MD Shahajada Imran. In this particular video, I will explain in detail end-to-end flow of HP business process testing. So I will explain the entire end-to-end flow. I have divided the entire flow into several steps, and I have created a Word document where I wrote all those steps, which you can see on the screen. So in this video is for HP BPT business process testing. So to do this, we would need two different types of tools. One is called Unified Functional Testing, or UFT, which is formally known as a QTP, or Quick Test Professional. And there is another tool that we would need, which is called Application Lifecycle Management, or ALM, which is formally known as a QC, or Quality Center. So these are the two tools that we would need to do the HP business process testing. So I already launched Quality Center, or ALM, and I logged in to a demo project. And in the Quality Center, there are 4 modules. Under testing modules, there are 4 more sub-modules. One is called Test Resources, Business Components, Test Plan, and Test Lab. This is where we will do the business process testing. And we would need a tool called HP UFT, or formerly known as QTP. So this is also I have launched. So on this screen, I have ALM launched, I have UFT launched, and I have the flow, or the steps that I wrote in the Word document. So I have divided the entire flow into 7 steps. So the first step is to, this is the first step. The first step is to set up. The first step is to set up the environment, set up the automation environment, so that we can do the HP business process testing. To set up the automation environment, we need to do 3 things. This is one. One is to give permission from UFT to access QC, or ALM. That is what we can do by navigating Tools, Options, GUI Test, and then here Tools, Options, Run. So I will go with, I will follow the instruction. Tools, Options, and Run Session. Actually, GUI Test, and it says allow other HP products to run tests and components. So I have to make sure that this option is checked. Right now it is checked. If it is not checked like this, then we have to make sure it is checked. So that is one. I will cancel it because it was already checked before, so I cancel it. And that is this part. And the second one is I have to connect from QC to ALM. To connect from QC to ALM, here we can see the ALM tab. So I click here, it says ALM connection. I'll click here. This window will come up and it will ask for ID and password for ALM. So I have ALM ID ABC and ALM password is ABC. So I'll click on connect. So now it is getting connected. So it populated the default domain and default project. I will click on login now. I clicked on login. So now I am connecting to ALM from UFT. Now I click on close. So this is the second step, that connect from UFT to QC, that is already done. So I will mark it as done. And the third one is the credential I have to use to connect QC from UFT. That credential should have proper access, should have BPT access. So this is the third thing that I have to make sure. The credential I'm using, the ID and the password I'm using to connect to QC from QTP, I have to make sure that ID and password has proper access, and that is what I have to ask the QC administrator. A QC administrator can give the first the QC administrator will configure the credentials and give the credentials to us, the automation engineers, and then we will use that credentials. So this is the third thing, to make sure the credential we are using that has the proper access. So I have marked this as green. So these are the three steps. First step is to give permission from UFT. Second step is to connect to QC from UFT, and third step is to make sure the credential I'm using to connect that has the proper access. So that is the first step. Step one is to set up the automation environment. So I already done this step one, and I also showed hands-on how we can do the automation test environment setup for BPT. I will show one more time in short. The first one is I go tools and then options and then GUI test and run tests, and here allow other HP products to run tests and components. I have to make sure this is checked. And the second thing is I have to click on ALM, click on ALM connection, and this is where I'm already connected. So this is where it will ask for ID, ask for password. I will enter ID and I will enter password. It will ask for domain name and project name. That I will select the domain name and project name, and I will click on login. That's how I will be connecting to ALM from UFT. And third thing is the credential I will be using that should have the proper access to BPT. BPT means this module. It should have access to proper access to this module. Okay, so I have showed hands-on this, so I can mark the entire step that is done explaining. Now I will go to step 2. So step 2 is to create reusable function library, shared object repositories, external environmental variables, recovery scenarios, all of those things we have to create and save in ALM. Instead of somewhere in the computer, we will be saving all those things in ALM. That is the step 2. Step 2 is to create reusable function, reusable object repositories, environmental variables, recovery scenarios. To create, step 2 is to create all of those things and save in ALM. So first I explain what I will automate. I launch Internet Explorer. I will navigate to Bing homepage. So this is the Bing homepage. In Bing homepage, my automation script will launch Internet Explorer, navigate to Bing homepage. It will search for a person, and it will click on search button. It will enter my name on the search box. It will click on search button, and this page will show up. So to do that, what are the objects we would need? We need this browser object. Also, we need this edit object, and we need this button. So these are the objects we would need. So first, I will create object repository, and I will make that object repository as a shared object repository, and then I will save that shared object repository in ALM. That is, step 2 is to create all those small portions. So now I am showing how we can create shared object repository and save in ALM. To create shared object repository, I will open a new GUI test. So I'm creating a new GUI test. It's creating. New empty GUI test, which will have no objects in the object repository and no codes in the editor or expert view. So that is the creating. It's creating here. This is creating. Okay, so this is action 1, GUI test, and I'll open the object repository, local object repository. So I will click on object repository. Now the local object repository will open up. So this is local object repository. Now I will click on object spy to spy the objects. Now I'm doing the object spy. This is the object edit box, so I click here. I say add object to local, so I'm adding this object to the local object repository. I added this one. I will click on object spy again to add another object, that is this one. I click here and I say click here. Okay, so I have added two objects. One is this one, highlight, I will highlight, so this one, and the other one is this one. So I highlight to show on the screen this one. So these are the two objects I have added in the local object repository. Now, since I have these two objects in the local object repository, I will convert this local object repository to shared object repository, and then I will save it to ALM or a QC. So I'll be saving there. So to do that, I have to do file, export local objects, it should ask where. So it is asking where I will be saving. So in the BPT resources, this BPT resource means here, if I go to ALM, this is BPT resources. It is asking where in this, where it will be saving. So I will be saving under object repositories here. I will be saving under here. So I go, I will double click here and I will say object repositories here. I will give a name. I will say object repository, object repository underscore L. So I just gave this name. This name could be anything. So I just gave a name, object repository underscore L. I will say create. And I will close this one. Now I will go to ALM. Now previously when I explored this is how it was looking. So now I will refresh so that I can see there is another object repository under this object repositories folder. I refreshed it and I will expand again. Now there are two. So this one I just created. So that is the part of step 2. Step 2 is to create all those things. So I have created shared object repository. Now I will create a function library. So function library, I will write, the objective of this video is not to explain or show how we can write complex Visual Basic scripting or how we can do Visual Basic programming. So I will simply write two very simple sub procedure to create one reusable function library. The step 2 is to create reusable function library, create reusable object repositories, create reusable external environmental variables, create reusable recovery scenarios. So all these reusable things to create and store in ALM is step 2. So I already showed how we can create a reusable shared object repository. Now I will show how we can create a reusable function library. So I will create two functions, two sub procedure. So one open browser _L, that is the name of the sub procedure. Now I will write code. So this sub procedure will launch Internet Explorer and navigate to the Bing homepage. I will create another sub procedure. So I have created two sub procedure. This is one and this is another one. These two sub procedure together creates one function library. So I will call it to see if this sub procedure works properly or not. I call this one. I also call this one. Now I will run it to see if this two sub procedure works properly or not. If it works, then I will make this. So I will create the reusable function library and store these two in it and save that in ALM. So before that I will run it to just check if this two works fine. It launched and closed. That means this two works fine. Now I will copy this to Ctrl C from the keyboard. So I copied and I will save in Notepad. So I will paste Ctrl V and I will save as function library _L dot VBS. So I'm creating one function library. That function library will have two reusable sub procedures. So I click on save. Let me see if it got created or not. So this is the one just got created. So now I will in the libraries I will create that. These are previously created and or quality center created by default. So now I will create another one. It's a function library. Function library L. This is the function library. It's also selected here, function library. So I'll click on OK. This is the one. In resource viewers, I'll upload that. And this is the one. Upload successfully. Okay. So this is I have just created a reusable function library and saved in QC under libraries folder in test resources tab. Okay, so that is step 2 to how to create reusable function library. So I have showed this one, so you can mark it as green. So I have already showed the 2 steps. Step 1, how to set up the automation environment, and step 2, how to create all those reusable things. I have showed 2 out of many. So how to create those reusable things and save in ALM. Now the third step is to create application area. So this is this one I showed. Now I will show how we can create application area. There are 3 all previously created. I delete this one. So there are previously created 2. So I will create one more. That is step 3, to create application area. So for that I will launch UFT. I will click here, file, new, and I will say application area. It is where I will be saving. I will be saving under application area. I will be saving here. So I need to give a name. I will say application area underscore L. So I just give a name, application area underscore L. I will create I will say create. So UFT is creating. Now in the function library, this is the application area. In this application area, I have to attach the function library I just created. I created one function library and saved here. This one, I just created this one. And I also just created object repository, this one. These 2 I just created as part of step 2. In step 2, I have showed a function library, I have showed object repository. These 2 I just created. This one and this one I just created. So that I have to attach with this function library. So function library with this application area. So under function libraries tab, there are 4 tabs. This one, this one. So I have to click function libraries and then I have to load. I click here, I will click here, I will go to BPT resources, libraries, and the one I have created, I have created this one called function library underscore L. So I select this one. I will say open. Okay, I have attached this function library with this application area. Now I will also attach the object repository, shared object repository. So I will click here, add object repository button. Now I will click on browse and I will browse it. This one I just created, object repository underscore L. So I will select this one. I will click on open. So I have attached object repository. I have attached function library. So I will save it. Save it. I have saved. If I go to ALM, or if you go to quality center, here there are two object repositories, 1 and 2. So I will refresh so that there will be another one which I just created. So I refresh and go there again. So now there is another one. Previously there were only 2, now this one showed up. So this is third one. I just created one application area. That is step 3, is to create application area. I showed hands-on. So you can mark it green so that I can tell this is done. Now I will show a step 4. Step 4 is to create business components. That is step 4. Business components will be stored under business components module. Those 3 things, application areas, function libraries, object repositories, all those things will be stored under test resources module, and the business components will be stored under business components module. So I clicked on this business components module. These are the folders available right now. So I will create another folder, one new folder. I will create one new folder. Let's say BPT underscore L. I will click on OK. So I have created a new folder. So that under this folder I can create all those business components, BPT underscore L. This one I just created. Now I go to QTP. I'll click on File. I'll click on New. I'll click on Business Component. And I will say keyword GUI component. It is asking for location where business components will be saved. I just created in QC, I just created one folder called BPT underscore L in business components module. So I want business components will be under this folder. So I have to mention that here. I have to mention that this one I just created BPT. So this is where should be saved. And application area, which application area we will be using. So I will browse application areas. There are 3. This one I just created, so I will select this one. I will say open. Now I will click on, I need to give a name, business. I will be saying open browser, business component. So this is open browser. I will click on open browser. underscore L, not just L, BC. I just give it name. This could be any names. I just give this name. So open browser underscore LBC. I'll click on create. Now one keyword view will open up. This is where I have to do keyword based scripting. This is the keyword view where I will for this particular component I will use one reusable function that is called open browser. So I will be to use functions, I have to use the operator here, and I will be using open browser, this one, open browser, and I'll click on save. If I go to ALM and refresh it, I should see under here. I refreshed it. Yes, I can see open browser. Now I will create another one, that is search. So I will create another business component, new. I will say business component. I'll give a name here. I will say search text underscore LBC. I'll just give it in search text. This is the name of the business component. So I will click on create. That keyword view will open up, and then I have to do keyword based scripting. So here I will say Bing sync, and then I will select one object. Select one object, this one, and I will give a value. I just wrote down my name here. So this is the value, and then I will submit query. Okay, so these are the three steps will be in this business component. So I'll click on save. I have saved it. Now if we go to quality center and refresh again, I should see one more here. Refresh. See, there are two now. On this one is search texts. Now I will create another one called close browser. So for that I will be clicking on new, file, new, and business component. I will say I have to give the name, close browser underscore LBC. I just give a name, close browser. Now click on create. Now the keyword view will open up, and I have to do keyword based scripting. For this one I will just use one reusable function called reusable sub procedure, actually called close browser. This one, close browser. Now save. And if I go to ALM, the quality center, and there are two. If I refresh, I will see one more. So these are the three, and all these three so the status has to be ready to be used, so we'll change it to ready. And also this one, I change this just to ready. this one also I change the status to ready. Now I can say the creating business component done. I showed hands-on how we can do the fourth step, so mark is done. Now the fifth step is to create BPT tests or scenario. So if we go to ALM or quality center, all those test cases will be created under test plan module. So I will move to test plan module from business components module. So I will be clicking on test plan module. So this is where all those test cases are written. So I will create a new folder. I will create a new folder. I will give tests folder underscore L. I just give a name. A name could be anything. So I gave tests folder, and under this folder I will create one test case. I will give a name. I clicked on test case, and I will give a name. The name should be like users are able to search my name in Bing homepage. That could be a test case. Verify that. Verify that users are able to search my name, MD Shahajada Imran, my name, in the Bing homepage. And I have to make sure it is business process selected. So we'll click on OK. Now I have to create the script. I have to select the components. This from here I just created this one, so I'll be selecting components in a order the way I want. So I have to put all those components in order. So the first one would be open browser. I'll select this one, and the second one would be search text. I'll select this one, and the third one would be close browser. So I have created one test in test plan module. So I go and I say I have showed hands-on how we can create business process tests in test plan module. Now I will be showing how we can execute it. So execution has to be done in test lab module. So I go to test from test plan, I move to test lab module. So I'll be clicking on test lab module here. I click on test lab module. This is where I have to create the test set. Test cases are written in test plan. Test sets or suites are written in test lab. So I am in test lab now. So I will create one test suite. Maybe I create another folder called test sets underscore L. Click on OK. And under this I will create one test set. So clicking test set, I will say test set 101 underscore L. Normally test sets are given with the number, so I just gave a number will click on OK. So this is the test set. Test set means there will be multiple test cases in a set. So I will be going to execution grid. This is where I will select multiple test cases. So here I have created this test case. I will select twice so that I can claim that this is a test suite, because to be a set or suite there has to be more than one test cases. So this is a test set. It has two test cases. These are two cases. These test cases are not manual test cases. These are business process test cases, and this is a test suite that holds two business process test cases. Now I can mark this one also done, that I have showed hands-on how we can create a test suite, and also I will be executing. Can mark it as done. Now I will be executing. I close UFT first. Now I go to quality center. Now it says the status says no run, no run. So I will run it. I will run test set. I will say run all. Okay, I stop. I have executed, and it shows the error message saying that I cannot create C blah 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 here. So I close here. What I will do, I will log out. I have showed until step 6. Now I will log out and log in again, and let's see. What I will do, I will save. Do you want to save? Yes, say save. I have showed until 6th step. Now I will restart. I will restart this one. I close. I will restart my PC. So I'm restarting my PC. So I have showed all those steps, how to do the environment setup, and then how to create all those reusable things like reusable functions, object repositories, environmental variables, recovery scenarios, and then I create application area and then create business components. I have showed 3: open browser, search text, and close browser. And also I have showed I have created one test case, business process test case, and also created one test suite that has 2 test cases, and now I will execute that suite. So I restarted the PC. Now I'm launching ALM, Quality Center. ALM and Quality Center, same thing. The latest version is called ALM. Older version used to be called Quality Center. I'm logging into Quality Center after restarting the PC. So I go to execution, great. I say run test set. The status is connecting here. This is running the first open browser, first business component of first test case. So now it is running the second one. The script entered my name in the search box and clicked. So this is the third business component is running of our first test case. Now the second test case will be running. So execution completed. The status is pass. If it goes here, I will open that steps again. So sixth step is to create a test set in test lab module and execute that test set under execution grid. I have executed both passes, and the result, the last step is to view result. How we will view the execution result, that I will be showing now. To view result, we have to log into Quality Center, go to Test Lab module. The same, I have to select the test case. If I want to see the first test case result, here I can see the result. It has 3 business components. All 3 components passes. This is the second one. I select second one. This is second one. It also has 3 business components, and all 3 passes. So this is the entire flow of end-to-end business process testing. This is the flow. So I have showed in detail, hands-on, how to do the HP business process testing using UFT and ALM. Other way we could say using QTP and Quality Center. Okay, thank you guys for watching, and in case if you want to see me, who am I'm curious to show. It's not letting me. If it's not letting me view, then forget about it. Thank you guys for watching. I have showed in detail hands-on end-to-end flow of HP business process testing, where I have used UFT and Quality Center to do the business process testing. Thank you guys for watching.